can't believe people play with people intelligence the way they play with people intelligence and intellect. You know, the way they do today. You know, people are telling lies for a living. You know what I mean? They actually lying to y'all for a living, but
you know what's a sucker to me? A sucker is who pick who he fight with.
Right.
Like if you sitting and you I'm not going because this.
I won't fuck with him, but I'll with this.
Right. Yeah, I think I can take him.
Right.
You want to fight you think you can beat.
And I called JPrince in them out. I'm saying,
He didn't say nothing to whack. So when you come talking to me, I feel like you're very selective. This is exactly what I meant last week when I was talking about street.
Prince didn't bite his tongue. He flat out branded 50 Cent a hypocrite. His words were sharp. If Big Meech is a snitch, then 50 might as well be out here wearing a badge. That's not just a jab. That's a straight up character assassination. And the streets heard it loud. Now, whispers are turning into roars. Word is, JPrince is allegedly sending serious threats toward 50, warning him to stop throwing that rat label on Meech's name or else things could get real ugly. And here's the thing, this ain't just another rap feud. This one's dripping with real life tension, but let's be honest. 50 Cent has never been the type to play quiet. You come for him, he doesn't clap back once he comes 10 times. Harder. And right now, it looks like JPrince may have just poked the wrong giant. And that's where this story gets even darker. JPrince's name has already been tied to shady street talk for years. We're talking about alleged extortion rackets, loaded dice games that ended dirty, and quiet whispers connecting him and his son to moves that never made the headlines. So. Now the big question isn't just who's lying, it's who's really willing to go all the way. Because in this war of words, one slip could turn rap beef into something far more dangerous.
I'm gonna answer a few of y'all questions, then I'm gonna have to go about my business. You can see I'm just relaxing, letting God's air blow on my face. And a suck.
To the tragic situation with Takeoff, nothing's been officially confirmed, but once the streets start buzzing, that noise doesn't die down. And if 50 decides to tear the lid off this, trust, he's got proof ready to go. He's already firing. Shots on Instagram cold-blooded and strategic, showing everybody just how ruthless he gets when someone crosses the line. But what's JPrince's real play here? Is he really willing to risk it all just to shield Big Meech? And what exactly did he whisper about 50 behind the scenes? Trying to square up with someone like 50 Cent, who thrives on petty wars and plays chess while everyone else plays checkers? That's dangerous ground. And let's be real, 50 ain't backing down. He's still pressing Meech hard over those snitching claims, not letting up for a second. Then, out of nowhere, rapper Top 5 jumps in and pours gasoline on the fire. He drops a video flaming Big Meech for sliding in his DMs, calling him a rat, tagging 50 and saying, 50, come scoop this wannabe 60-year-old kingpin out my DMs before I crash out. Straight disrespect. Of course, 50 couldn't resist. He riposted the clip with his trademark jab. He probably wanted to borrow money from you, gangster, lol. Classic 50, cutting deep while laughing in your face. Meanwhile, the rest of the rap game is tiptoeing. Heads down, lips sealed. Nobody wants a piece of this heat between 50 and Big Meech. But guess who just had to dive headfirst into the chaos?
Maybe we need to change the word for the youngsters. The checking in part, you know, is they seem to get hung up on that word, checking in.
Yeah.
So if we could diversify that word and bring it up to a 2021 thing.
Right. What's the word, OG? What's the word?
Maybe we may want to tell them they need to get connected.
You know
what I mean?
Yeah.
Maybe that's the proper word, connected, properly connected, or whatnot.
Yeah, they getting tripped up on the semantics.
Yeah, they get stuck. I mean, right there you stuck. So then you stuck on stupid, right?
Yeah.
You're stuck on stupid, and you're not using your powers or access to powers that you have. You're looking at it as a negative versus a positive. You know, we all know if you can tap into good people wherever you go.
Wherever, yeah.
But I mean, it's a blessing, Rip.
Real talk.
You know
Real
what I mean?
talk.
Who want to have access to power and not
Yep, JPrince. Out of nowhere, he inserts himself right into the flames when nobody even asks. Now every blog and gossip page is lit up, saying he's been sneak dissing 50 through Instagram stories, tossing shade and accusing him of clout chasing off Big Meech's name. And here's the bombshell he allegedly dropped, then deleted: a spicy post that read, Big Meech stacked over $100 million before prison. 50 took his story, flipped it into money, tossed him just $5 million, and now acts like he built BM. That's a serious shot. Suddenly, it's no longer just 50 vs. Meech. JPrince wants his seat at the table, but it gets wilder. Insiders are whispering JPrince ain't just trolling online. Word is he's quietly pushing threats behind the curtain, allegedly trying to send people toward 50 to silence him. Real shadow moves. But here's the thing, 50 is not budging. Instead of backing off, he turned it up.
Yo, so I had a dude call me, right? And that Junior been having some going on down there in Houston, bro. We got the media team in here. So it's an inside month. Now this month, he's the one that's tied to the dude that makes the loaded dice. Right? Check the play out. All entertainers, when you go to Houston, stay away from JPrince Jr. The whole play going on. Here go the play right here. The play is a loaded dice. Now I'm gonna talk about something. Let me see if y'all catch up with what I'm saying. The entertainer invites him in, act like he's covering for him, hanging out, everything is cool. Let's go here, let's go there, let's go here, let's go there. He introduces the dice game. He got 3 right, who rotate the dice. Now these dice is loaded. Tell me it's a Wolf, Big Caprice, and watch this, and Little Cam are the loaded dice rotators, right? He said, what? There was a situation that occurred that a certain jeweler around and got past the dice on accident and was hitting on them for a couple hundred. They got irritated about that. I ain't gonna go too far into that story because, right, boom. The only way they could get their money back was however their money back. He said, but Lil Cam, Wolf, and Big Caprice are the 3 designated to say I'm up, I got the next, and they pass the dice to each other, but they loaded, but they shooting against them up whoever's in town, the entertainer. Right? They say JPrince Jr., he get 30%.
He threw up a scene from Training Day like a warning flare, making it crystal clear no matter what's coming, he's not going anywhere. In the caption, he snapped, "Get the message." Everybody caught it loud and clear, and now the internet's roasting JPrince, clowning him for poking at the wrong giant. Folks are saying he better slow down and know his lane, because trying to come for 50 Cent is not for the weak, especially when you might have a few skeletons rattling in your own closet. If you don't know, JPrince is the CEO and co-founder of Rap-A-Lot Records, one of Houston's most iconic labels. In his city, he crowns himself the king of Houston, moving like he runs it top to bottom. And in the rap world, there's always been this unspoken rule: when artists touch down in H-Town, JPrince moves like their personal gatekeeper, almost like he's the boss of security. But not everyone's convinced. On the block, people are whispering that all that so-called protection might just be a cover. Word is, JPrince and his son Jazz might be running something much grimier, an alleged extortion hustle behind the curtain. And the rumors get darker. Folks keep pointing to those infamous dice games they're known to host in Houston.
Beware of with JPrince Jr. when he talking about let's go shoot some dice, because the loaded dice crew of 3 Lil Cam Wolf and Big Caprice. We know Lil Cam in there because I believe somehow, some way he was caught up in the dice situation. Rest in peace, Takeoff. I don't know what's going on. But what I do know this, JPrince Jr. got a whole thing that when y'all come into town, hold on, bro. Didn't they say Fifth Ward earlier that day shooting dice?
Yep. That's a fact. That word been out, Wack. That word been out. We been out that memo.
And then, so this I've been getting hit all day, and it got to the point at the thing where Quavo like, that is the dice. If you're a mother artist, entertainer, and you been down there to Houston with the hosting of JPrince Jr., and that it led you to a dice game, and you was getting hit for all your and you remember 3 by the name of Big Caprice, Wolf, or Lil Cam, y'all need to get on JPrince Jr. bumper because it was a lineup. Y'all need to holler at that because his people done told me inside. He said, "What? We didn't want to give him the mother loaded dice."
Who goddamn Quavo was arguing with before he walked off?
I think the argument was about...
Word on the streets is these dice games ain't just about friendly wagers. Rappers are allegedly getting lined up, losing bags, and sometimes a whole lot more than money. And it's looking like 50 Cent is gearing up to shine a brutal spotlight on all the dirt folks been sweeping under the rug. Everything really spiraled after Takeoff's tragic passing. But peep this.
Doing the Boosie dice game. Oh, yep. So he was shooting against Boosie and he got past the loaded dice. So, his name was Duke the Jeweler. They said Boosie set him up. Now your story makes more sense. He died with all his jewelry on. Lil Cam was shooting that night when Takeoff died too. They're saying DJ Pat Bullet was a bullet that Takeoff. Also, Cam was the one shooting dice, so he had the loaded dice. Now, for Boosie, they must have switched the dice up. Either they was gonna have no, Boosie was supposed to have the loaded dice, and they must have switched it, gave it to them.
He wasn't the first name tied to Jazz Prince's Dice Night drama and ended up dead. Just months before, Chicago's own Duke, the jeweler, cashed out heavy at one of those games, walking away with $100,000 stacked. But that win turned fatal. Quick. Before Duke even touched his car, he was ambushed, robbed, and gunned down on the spot. Gone in seconds.
Can y'all elaborate on dice game when it's tied to y'all?
I know people were associating me with that Duke the Jeweler situation because I went to Lil Boosie pool party and he happened to be there and he happened to be standing on me. I mean, right next to him. The truth is, I never met him before. I had no idea who he is. I didn't even know he was a jeweler until after his passing. And then the night of that game isn't the night that he got leaving Boosie concert the next night because somebody tried to rob him. So, you know, the internet play internet games. But this is a situation with a dude that I didn't even know. I ain't know his name. I had no knowledge of him. I ain't know he was from Chicago. I ain't know he was a jeweler until social media started trying to point a finger because he was standing next to me, and it's just unfortunate that something transpired after another dice game, but neither incidents had anything to do with it.
So when Takeoff lost his life, fans were heated. They started side-eyeing Quavo hard, saying he never should have been hanging with JPrince and that Mob T.I.'s clique, especially not after what went down with Duke. People online were posting, after all that shady business, how could you still be around them? With the spotlight already burning hot on the Prince family, the pressure turned up even more. Folks were saying Quavo should have dipped the minute things got sketchy. And now, the deeper people dig, the uglier it looks. The man accused of firing that deadly shot, Patrick Xavier Clark, was already indicted by a grand jury. But here's the kicker: nearly 3 years later, his trial still hasn't even started.
When we was gone, I got a call, you know what I mean, because the little homie young boy, the place got broke into. People went in his place, disrespected different things, and you know, I got a call about it. And the little homies that went into this place want to make that right because they understand that, you know what I mean, young boy family is okay with me. And as you can see, homie, to make a long story short, I got your keys to your Rolls Royce. I got your keys to your McLaren. You know, all that they took. And the homie, Shakur, what you got, homie?
We got your Rolls Royce umbrellas. We got your keys. We got a bunch of other shit, so get in contact with us, bro. Get your shit back, bro.
And now fans are flat out saying it's something in this case just don't add up. One day after Patrick Xavier Clark got picked up, he magically posted $1 million bond and was back home on house arrest like nothing happened. But by November 2023, it got even crazier. Suddenly no ankle monitor, no real restrictions, just a light curfew from PM to AM, that's it. Now here's the shady part. Court papers straight up say Clark can't reach out to any witnesses, victims, or Takeoff's family. And guess whose name shows up on that restricted list? JPrince, JRB. That had everybody asking, why would his name even be tied into that? But wait, it runs deeper. The court also banned Clark from having contact with JPrince Seoster, too. So now the streets are buzzing. How does a man facing a homicide charge end up walking free with basically just a bedtime? The whole case feels less like justice and more like a Netflix crime drama.
Hey, I don't want no friends. I don't want no new relationships. All that pussy. Hey, I don't respect none of that shit, man. If you got something for me, man, they got plenty of niggas around me you could call. I ain't nigga. It's plenty ways you could get in touch with me. Man, don't get on no internet and do nothing publicly. Don't do nothing dealing with no publicity. None of that pussy and shit. And I'm good on the keys, gangster. When you buy shit cash, two keys come with the car anyway. Man,
and the longer this drags out, the uglier it looks. We're creeping up on 3 years now and still no solid trial date. People are side-eyeing heavy, wondering if something behind the scenes is being covered up. Feels way too convenient, right? Now here's the latest twist. Clark is still standing 10 toes on his innocence, and his lawyer, Letitia Cannon Holland, is coming out swinging. She told Rolling Stone straight up that her client didn't fire the fatal shots that killed Takeoff, period. And she didn't stop there. She went at the investigators, calling their so-called evidence weak. According to her, the surveillance and ballistics don't even line up. She's promising that when this trial finally gets moving, she's ready to shred the whole case to pieces. But here's where it flips again. She claimed Clark was in the same boat as Takeoff, just trying to make it out alive. No part of the argument, no role in the chaos, just wrong place, wrong time when bullets started flying. That statement alone threw gasoline back on the fire, because once you circle back to all those whispers about JPrince and them shady dice games, the whole thing starts looking even dirtier. Industry folks been hinting for a minute, but Whack 100, he flat out said it. He accused JPrince's son of running rigged dice games on rappers sliding through Houston. And he wasn't sugarcoating a thing. He warned artists straight up, stay away from Jazz Prince's dice games, period. Called the set up a scam and said if you walk into one of those rooms, you might lose way more than just money. You might not walk out at all. And Whack wasn't done stirring it up. He even floated a dark theory, claiming Quavo and Takeoff might have gotten caught up in some shady backdoor play that sparked the chain of events leading to Takeoff's death. Then he dragged Boosie's name into the storm too, accusing him of being tied to the same sketchy dice game setup that ended Duke the Jeweler's life.
I'm gonna tell you another thing. When you're dealing with older people, they're the last to know that things have changed. We not your lord. Like, the way you talking, I don't get what you mean. We're not your little niggas. Like, for real, all that big homie stuff, that's for little niggas. Little niggas have big homies. We're not little niggas, so we don't even respect big homies. I know it doesn't, and for me, I never respected niggas in the streets. That's why I always got the problems I got. You would tell me, Mace, chill. No, chill for what? Who is this? That's how I feel listening to this, man. Like, I want to respect you, but I can't. And I'm going to tell you why. Because if I got a lord, like the dudes that raised me, if I was out of pocket, they would tell me I'm out of pocket. They wouldn't let me put them on a crash out mission. They would say, yo, Mace, listen. Around here, we don't send us to do nothing for us. We don't pay to handle our problems. You gotta put in your own work around here, Lord, man. That's what you were supposed to tell them. You can't go out here and talk crazy and then send me on a mission. Nah, this is where the game got messed up. When young started sending old niggas out. And just because this little ignorant got a few dollars, he make all of you that's supposed to be real run after his mission. This is a problem, JPrince. And I'm going to tell you like this. If you're 60 years old and you trying to be a street nigga, you failed. You failed.
Man, this drama just keeps getting darker and messier. When JPrince finally got pressed about all the chatter, he tried brushing it off quick. He swore up and down he never even knew Duke the jeweler and claimed those dice nights had nothing to do with Duke's death or Takeoff's tragedy. He called it just rumors, but let's be real, the streets ain't buying that story. Too many shady coincidences stacking up, and trust me, this mess goes way past dice games. JPrince's name has been tied to extortion whispers for years, and now that fire's getting harder to put out. One incident that really lit the internet up happened back in July 2020 when NBA YoungBoy got hit in Houston. Word is, a crew allegedly tied to JPrince pulled up on his Airbnb. They didn't just drop by, they walked off with his chains and the keys to his $350,000 Bentley. And the wild part, they flaunted it online like it was a parade, flexing his iced out jewelry, a Bentley, Rolls Royce, even a 2020 McLaren GT like trophies. That's when folks started connecting the dots, saying this wasn't no random stick up. Allegedly, the same crew demanded $30,000 just to give the stuff back. And then JPrince jumps on Instagram cool as ever, claiming he found YoungBoy's chains and keys and told him to come pick him up like it was a lost and found desk. Fans weren't fooled, they were like, wait, what? Is this some kind of joke? But YoungBoy wasn't laughing. He blasted back, calling it a straight setup, and accused JPrince of using Houston's check-in culture as nothing but pressure and extortion dressed up as protection. And it's not just him. Cameron and Mai recently aired JPrince out, too, not only over the YoungBoy situation, but also for allegedly trying to shut them up after they dragged his fighter, Shocker Stevenson. Remember, Shocker is managed by JPrince, and Cam and Mai didn't hold back after his last fight, calling it boring and disappointing live on their show. JPrince clapped back with a slick warning on Instagram, basically telling them to put their money where their mouth is, but the heat only got worse. Fans started pointing out that JPrince seems to have way more enemies in the industry than he lets on. He fired back saying, numbers don't lie, haters do, flexing Shocker's ratings and bragging about handling all his business outside the ring. Translation? Don't test me. He even doubled down saying he'd fade all shots and take all bets. Still, Cam and Mai weren't fazed. They laughed it off, clowning him for still trying to move like a street boss at his age. And now the internet's tearing into JPrince even harder, asking why he'd even think about stepping to 50 Cent in the middle of this Big Meech mess. Because let's be honest, 50 built his whole empire on calling people out, dragging secrets into the light, and turning beef into entertainment. For JPrince to walk into that with dice game whispers and extortion rumors already on his back, fans say he might have picked the worst opponent possible, and if 50 really decides to unload, it's gonna get brutal. He's got receipts, stories, and a platform big enough to turn this into a circus for the whole world to watch. This ain't the type of smoke you walk away from clean. But what do you think? Did JPrince overstep by jumping into the Big Meech drama and allegedly aiming at 50? Or is he just riding for someone he respects? Let me know in the comments. Smash that like button, hit subscribe, and share this one because trust, the next chapter's only getting hotter.